In this video, I'll be talking about CSS Navigation Bar. To start with that, I'll create my HTML structure, not here, but here. And then inside the body, I will create a div element, div. Inside the div, I will create another list. We use list to most of the time for navigation bar. So inside this list, I will now use list element. Inside the list element, I will now use a tag, which is href. Then I will now write my text. First of all, I will refer it to hash, which means no going to nowhere, kind of demo. Then I will say something like home. Let me use uppercase home. Okay. Then let me duplicate this thing, this text, this block of code. Let me say 1, 2, 3 up to 4 places. Okay. Let me refresh so you can see it in the page. Okay. Now let me change this name to, let me say page. Let me say pages. Then let me this one products. Let me say products. Say products. Then let me give this one say customer. Let me say customer. Yeah, customer care. Okay, I think it makes sense now. So the next thing I will do, I will link my external CSS file. So if you don't know how to do that, watch my video on how to just watch my CSS video, my CSS insert video. Okay, so I will now link my external CSS file. Okay, what's this? Okay, so inside this place now, I will do it normal way. Okay, it's now linked. So I will now move. Okay, the main one thing, I will have to add class. Let me give my div a class name of main. I prefer main. Then okay, main is also a kind of an element, although it may work. But let me say let me use main underscore nav. Okay, to make more sense. Then inside our I think I'm not really going to do much thing now because all these things is I don't think is really necessary. So let me reduce this so I have more space. So I will have more space in my external CSS file. Okay. Now, first of all, I want to give the whole element a body box sizing, kind of a border box. So it is really necessary for this for this navbar. So what I will do, I'll use asterisk for all. Asterisk. This thing is used for to give all the whole element the same properties and values. So I will use say body box. What am I saying? Yeah, box sizing. Sorry, box sizing. Box size and then border box. So they have inherited that. It might not be visible yet until you might not really understand what we did here, but it's really necessary for this box sizing and border box. Watch my other video to understand what that thing means. This border box mean. Okay. So the next thing I will do, I will set HTML and body. I'll give them zero padding, zero margin and zero padding because I don't want any interference. I don't want it to be zero, so the browser will not add its own by default. Okay, so I will not say HTML. I will do it by element HTML comma. Then I will not give say body body. I'm giving two elements the same property and value. I will say margin. I'll say margin 0 pixel. Then I will not give padding. I'll give padding. Oh, what is this? Yeah, I'll give padding. I'll give padding 0 pixels. Okay. I think it's done. This is the only thing I need to give to these two body and this thing, the body and the HTML. So the next thing I will do now is to call that my class, our main div, the one that contains our another list and the list. So I will call it the name to call the class. Use dot the name of the class main underscore the name of the class main underscore nav. That's the name I give to you. You can give the name, you can give it any name you want. Okay, so now what I want to do, I want to target through this and target this, what's it called, this anchor. I don't want these lines. Okay, this line that is under this text, I don't want it. It's not even working there. So I will now use this pattern. So I will now open what's it called, this is a white space combinator. So go and watch my video on CSS combinator, you understand it. This is a white space combinator. Okay, if you watch the video you understand what it means. Okay, inside this place I will now I will now say test decoration, set it equals to none, so that line can disappear. Set it equals to none, you can see the line have disappeared. Okay, then let me change the color. Let me give it a black color. Okay, let me give the text a black color. Under it, under say color, give it a black. Give it a black color. Let me give it a semicolon. You can see the color has changed. Okay, now let me use another one. Let me say let me give it a display property, because I think it's necessary, very necessary. Let me give it a display block. Okay, so it's now in block. Okay, so this is all the thing I have to add here. Then the next thing I'll be doing here is to add I'll use a shard combinator to remove these dots. Okay, to remove these dots in the list. Okay, so what I will now do, I will say main, the name of our main div, which is the class that we give the name, we give the class name main div. So we call our class name. So we use what is it called, a child combinator. Okay, this child combinator will target the name of the element immediately after this arrow. Once it's in under, if I go and watch my CSS combinator, you understand this thing. So I will now use the name on other list. Okay, then open our declaration block. Then inside I will now say list. I will say list. What is it called? List type. Yeah, that is list type. I will set it equals to none. Okay, you can see the list have disappeared. Okay, then let me give it let me also give it margin and padding 00. I think margin and margin, let me give it 0 pixel. Then let me give it padding, let me give it padding. Okay, let me give a padding of let me give padding 0 pixel. Okay, you can see, so that it will move to the edge of this our browser, and also to just to reach at the top end, and then to the left end, just to reach out. So you can see the difference. Okay, so having done this, now the next thing I'll be adding is I'll use that same child element. Okay, so I'll use I will also call this I will also call the same class name, and then give space, use our child combinator. Then I will call this what is it called, I want to give all of them a background color. No, I want to give I think this is the anchor tag. Okay, I think they all inherit it. Okay, so I will give this one, which is on other list, give list, and then give what am I saying, please? This is don't worry, just observe, go and watch that CSS combinator, then you understand what I mean, because it's taking us time. I don't want this thing to take us time. And then I will now do um, no, this one is supposed to be UI, because another list is inside another list. Then after another list, we have which other element is inside. List is inside another list, so we now write LI. Okay, list, which is this one. Then the next thing we are going to use here is another child combinator to target this a tag here. So we now put a here. Okay, so we now open our declaration block. Inside this our declaration block now, we'll give it a padding of let me see, a padding of, let me give it 8 pixels and see what it looks like. And padding, so giving it a padding of let's say 8 pixels, 8 pixels. Okay, the spacing is, it makes sense. You can see the spacing, the padding between each of the letters. Let me make it 9 and see what it looks like. I think this way is more better. Let me leave it at 9 pixels. So next, now I'll give it a background. So let me say background. Let me give it a background color. Let me say let me put color so it can no, let me leave it this. Let me just say if I say black, what will black look like? This color will disappear. Is this not what I want? How about gray color? How will gray look like? I think gray, yeah, I think gray makes sense. Gray color makes sense. Okay, with this gray now, it makes sense, but anyway, let's make use of it. Still okay. Okay, so the next thing I'll be doing now, what next now? Should I even add border now, or this border really necessary now? I'm not really sure I can use this border now. It's like I will ignore this border now. But let me just add hover. Let me add pseudo class. So when I hover over it, some properties we do this thing will display. So what I will now do under here is to, I will still call that same main. I will still call that same main. Then use child. Okay, give space, give child combinator. Then use the same thing we did in the first place. We also bring it down. Un space child. Then I for list. Okay. Then space child. Then space a tag, a element. Okay, which is href. Then I think this is the number of them that I want to give this to. Then I will now add the pseudo class. In this pseudo class now, I will use hover. The pseudo class name will be hover. Then after this hover, I will now open a declaration block. Then what will happen to this thing when I hover over it? First of all, I want to give it a I want to give the text a color, give it a background color, and then I want it to increase. Okay, let me start by giving it font size. Let me increase its font size to double of its size. I think the text size here is by default. Let me see the text size I give to it. Okay, it's on default, which is this text now will be inside is inside a, which is this. Let me go down. It's inside, which is this place. Okay, so what I will now do, this font size, I want to increase the font size to when I hover over it, I want it to increase it to 1.5 em. Okay, then the next thing I want to do next, I want to give it a color. I want to change the text color. I want to change the text color to, I want to give it a text color of let me see this color, how it looks like. This violet, I don't know what it will look like. Let's see. It makes sense. It looks like that length, like a length page stuff. You can see the effect here. Okay, and it's increasing the font size. What if I make it 2em? What will it look like? How about 2em? Yeah, you can see it's very bold now. This is the effect. Okay, let me just add the background color to them. Let me say background color. I'll use I'll use as aqua. Okay, say font size. Let me put semicolon here. Semicolon, enter. Then I will now say I will say background. Say background color. Let me use azule. You can use, I mean, aqua. You can use anyone you want. Just that I like the color. Okay, so if I hover over it now, you can see the effect, and it's corresponded with the color I give to the text. You can see this is our nav bar. You can see the effect. You can see the effect. Okay, this is because we add this property here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is kind of this. I can make one of them to be very active. Like I can make this home, each one, like this home now active. This color will remain here. Okay, so to do that, we come back to our to our list. Inside this place, let's target our home and give it a class. Inside this, yeah, let's give it a class of say class. Let me give it a class of, let me call it active. Let me just give it active. Let me give E. So what I will now do, I will now come inside this place now. What I will now do is just to call I'll use the name of our class dot main nav space the name of our class, which is this active we created now, active dot active. Okay, that will now give it let's give it is this thing we will give to it will remain there. It will never change. It will just be stable. It will just be there. Okay, let's just make it let's say, let's also use the same color that we used, which is this aqua. Let me copy it, Control C, and then paste it here, Control V. You see the effect. You can see this one is always active. Whether you hover over it or not, it will always be active. Okay, this is how to make an element active. You can actually change the color, but I prefer when you hover over it, the color will the effect of hovering will take place. Okay, this is for active. Okay, so the next thing I will do now, I want to add borders to it, so there will be lines separating each of them. So to do that, I'll just come under here. Let me come under and just use that same my member, my main nav. Then I will give space, which is use white space combinator. So then I will now add list, which is the list that contain each of the contents. Okay, then I will now open a declaration block. Inside there, I will now say border. But I think it will be button. It was supposed to be button, so it will not circle all of them. So I use border button, and then I will now give it. Let me say 2 pixels. Let me 2 pixels. Let me say solid and see what it looks like. Solid. You can see the effect on. Let me how about insert. Let me see how insert will look like. Inserts. It looks white. I don't like it. It's trying to take the background color. Let me leave it as solid. um Solid. I think this one make you can see the effect, the background, the bottom border. Okay. Okay, what if I want this my navbar now to be in, this is in horizontal form. What if I want it to be in what is it called, this is a vertical font. I want it to be in horizontal. So to do that, I'll use my commander here. I'll say the same my main nav. Okay, this my main nav. I'll use a shard combinator. Then I would use user unordered list, then space, put my shard combinator, and then put list final. Then open a declaration block. Inside the declaration block, I'll use float. Okay, float. Let me float it left. Let me float it left. Okay, you can see the effect now. You can see what the thing is doing. You can see now is now in what's it called, in horizontal line. Okay, let me add this some proper. Let me just add it. Let me just say width. Let me just give it a width of 30% and see what it looks like. Okay, it seems like it's too much because of this customer test. Okay, how about reducing it to 20%? Still a bit, so how about 25? I think 25 makes sense. We have about 1/4 of them, so you think it makes sense. Okay, I want to reduce this customer. Let me remove, so they will be in the same line. How can I do this? Let me say let me just remove, let me just use customer and leave it at customer, so this line can be straight. You can see. Okay, this is for horizontal. Okay, but because we use what is it called, we use floats. Then let me also add another property. What if I add something like let me add test, and so the test will be in the center, and test align. Let me use center. You can see it's now position, all of them is now positioned in the center. So this is the way navbar works. You can see that. If I have any link, it will just redirect to the link. Okay, so I want to add border, so there will be border separating each of them. what I will do, this one now, there's still border here, which is this one, main border, that this thing. Let me comment it out here. Let me comment it out. Control backward slash. You can see the border have disappeared. So let me add a border, another border, the one that will demarcate each of them vertically. So I'll add that border inside this place. So inside this place now, is this place the nice, the real place now to put it? I think I should use, I should just edit that first one and replace, instead of putting it inside this place. Is it really necessary? I'm just thinking. Though if I put it, it still have the same effect because we are targeting this shell, this the laser shell, so it's still the same thing. Let me try and see. Let me say border. It's supposed to work. Inside this border now, I will not give it. I will not say border right. I think border right will do it because it will go to the right, not to the left. So inside this, I will not say let me give it 2 pixels. 2 pixels, and then make it solid. Solid. You can see the effect now. You can see the effect, how the borders is there. How about solid? Which color will match this thing now? Let me say solid. Let me say 00ff, which is as aqua, and see what it looks like. Okay. Okay. Looks like, but it does not. This color is not nice. It's not, don't like that color. Let me use insert here and see what it looks like. What it looks like. Insert. It seems like it's using background color. Let's leave it at black. Let's leave it at solid. Solid is black by default. Let's leave it at black. You can see the effect. What if we reduce the pixel to 1 pixel? It's not very small. I think it's even more better this way, or you can increase it if you want. You can make it 1.5. Okay, I think it's much a little bit better. Okay, so that's how to add border between the text in a horizontal form. Okay, the next I want to there's what is called sticky. Let me use that effect here. I want to make sure that this header will be here, even if when I scroll my stuff up. Okay, for better illustration, let me add some text here under div to be outside div. Under div, let me add let me say, let me use I think paragraph will make more sense, which is p tag. Let me use a random word of, let's say, rolling. Let me say random word of let me say 300. I think 300 makes sense. You can see the text now. If I scroll down now, let's see what will happen. You can see the nav bar disappear. Let me increase the text as well. Or the test is okay. Let me not go far, because if I start adding other features to this, just want to use it for illustration. Because if I start adding some values to this test, like a color, font, it just doesn't make sense. Just to take a whole lot of, to take us a whole lot of time. Let me just add more text. Let me say more lowering, more 100 words. Okay, so I can scroll more. You can see now I'm only viewing text, okay, until I come up before I see this my nav bar. Okay, so what I want to do, I want this thing to be fixed. I want it to stick here. I don't want it to move. Okay, so let's try and see what happens. Let's go to main nav. No, not this anchor. I want the main nav bar itself, the one that is only main nav bar. Let's keep on going down. Where is it now? Where is it now? Okay, I don't think I have anything like dots. My class, I've not used it. And what I'm talking about, this class name, main.nav, I'd not create any distance. I want to give it its own property. Since it's the one containing this whole thing, I want to call the class alone. No adding shard, no nothing. Let me just call the class alone. So inside this class now, I'll now give it a position. I'll say position fixed. Fixed, okay. Let's scroll and see what happened. You can see the text is scrolling, but this thing is still there. This our header is still there. Let me just make sure I add some function so it will look more nicer because it seems like it's affected a bit. Okay, so to do that, I think I need to add it top and left and the width so that it will cover the. Okay, let me start by top, so it will go up. Let me say top. Let me set it to 0 pixels, 0 pixels, comma. Then let me give it a. Let me say left. Say left. 0 pixel, 0 pixel, comma. Then let me give it a width. Let me say width. Let me say width. Let me give it 0 pixel. Okay. Why is it giving me this? The width is not supposed to be 0 pixels. Let me. I'm supposed to give it 100. So if I use full screen, it will cover up. Okay. Let me open widescreen and see what happens. So if I put 100% width, I think it will cover the whole screen. Let me see. Let's find out. Let me say 100%. 100%. Yeah, it's not covered. Let me open widescreen. Yeah, it will also cover. So the 100%, whatever the size of the screen, it will just automatically cover. You can see the effect. You can see the effect here now. You can see. So you're scrolling. The navbar is just there. It will never move. It is just fixed. It's fixed there. Okay. It's just fixed there. Okay. For better illustration, I'll also do it in the wider screen. So I want to use the wider screen. So I'll add more words. Let me say lorem. Let me say lorem. Let me say lorem 3000. It will be too much, but I just for the sake of the wider screen. Okay. So let me open this screen. Yeah, I think there's enough scrolling bar now. There are a lot of random text. So let's scroll in the wider screen and see what it looks like. You can see now. It's just stick there, no movement, just be there. You can see. Okay, assuming that I'm scrolling down, I just want to check one or two. I can just blanch and just hover over it. You can see the effect. So this is how to do a CSS navigation bar. Okay, hope I have nailed some points in this video. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.